Hey everybody, I wanted to try to get a little bit more consistent content talking about the products that we'll be getting down the pipeline from Bleach Road. We just had the weekly broadcast just showed to us just now talking about the Raging Form Crest, Raging Form support. Sorry about my nose. Still ridiculously stuffy right now. The Raging Form Dragon that we had from years and years ago is still relatively the same. Retire 3 Raging your Revenger units to choose a Raging Form Dragon from your hand and ride it to stand. Still relatively the same. So then we have the Crest, which turns him into a 30k unit for the rest of the game. And the other ability is that your limit break is reduced, so you no longer have limit break anymore. So all of your Vanguard's limit break abilities is now completely gone, so you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about the big issue that Raging Form decks used to have back in the day, is that they would heal out of the limit break and not be able to do anything anymore, which is horrible for the deck. It is a lot of times I've played against Raging Form players where I barely lucked out on beating them because they heal down from 4 to 3, and there was even to a point in time where a lot of decks actually just stopped running heal triggers anymore because of it. It's hilarious. That's why I used to be able to run like 16 of almost any ratio triggers, and or heals weren't that mandatory, etc, etc. But now we have to run heals, so. I think the Raging Form deck set is indeed worth it so far. What else is different on the Crest? Oh, your Raging Rap Dragon, which is then the Stride, where we're going to be talking about really soon. Their cost is changed into the old Raging Form's cost, which is Retire 3. Instead of discarding 2 Abyss Dragons, which is funny enough that the stream also talked about it a little bit at length. The Abyss Dragons are also the Heal Guardians that we have from the V series, which is funny. So you could discard those as some of your additional costs, which is like super funny, because then you can use the Legion. So then you can use your Legion, your Phantom Blaster Abyss to send your heal triggers and your Revenger triggers back into your deck. And a lot of your Revenger triggers are vanilla for V as well. And you also, with the Crest, to get the Crest, you flip up an extra copy of Rap Dragon. And you do need to discard grade 3 or greater from your hand. So a combination of 2 and 1 or 3. And it is an act skill, so you do get costs of being able to get the force markers and stuff like that, and you get your Crest, which is just great. And then you have your limit break skill that used to be Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, retire 2 rear guards and discard cards, but now it just becomes retire 3 rears. But this is retire. This is interesting. This forces you to retire 3 rear guards with a Revenger. This only just asked for 2 rear guards, but discards also 2 Abyss Dragons from your hand. But now this can coincide with your reversed Phantom Raging Form Dragon. So you can actually play a mixture of both the V reverse, and you can still play OG. Because the only issue that OG had was that it wasn't 13k base, and it couldn't give you a force marker, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people were playing it. And I know a lot of people still play at least like 1 copy of the Abyss and their Revenger decks just for the chain ranker play of being able to Legion multiple times again. Which is still kind of funny because you have still 2 Vanguard swings with a bunch of multi-attack stuff. It's really good. And then the additional part of the skill is then put us into the G zone face up, and then choose one of your Rap Dragons, and it gets drive -1, and then you could still resolve the skill again, because I don't think it's once per game or once per turn, right? Of your heart, blah blah blah. You would pay the cost for your ability of your Rap Dragon. Yeah. So this you can, as long as you can keep on paying the cost, you're fine. So let me see. I could show you a card that you're possibly gonna want to have in your deck as much as you possibly can. Let me see if we have the deck list already posted from Bushiroad. So let's see if any of the cards. So none of the card list has not been posted. We do know the G zone so far, but we don't know the main deck yet. Let me see if they had posted anything about the main deck. So then we can take a quick peek at that. Yeah, nothing about the main deck has been posted yet, only G zone. And this is what you get in the current G zone, which is still pretty okay. You're gonna make some additions. You're gonna probably run one more Chain Ranked Dragon, and possibly get out of Drag Rule, and probably you want to run the where are you? Probably gonna want to run either 2 copies of Dragon Abyss Luard, or definitely getting out of GBA. By the way, I do not recommend running it. Where are you? Here we go. Dark Dragon Phantom Blast Diablo. This is probably what you're going to run instead of the Drag Ruler. So if we do get a main deck list, probably we could make a separate segment talking about cards you're probably going to want to pick up. Mana is going to be very important. This card is going to be one of the best cards for your Revenger deck, since it gets your grade 1 or less out of your deck. This is very, 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 very important. There is also another grade 2 card that you're probably going to want to at least run 3 copies of, 2-3 copies of it. Is going to be Revenger Bless Angel, Dark Bless. And one of the cool other things about the cost reduction on the Crest now is that since you don't need to pay CB or Blast for any of the abilities for your Rap Dragon, you can use your rest of your abilities to superior call more rear guards. And a lot of the newer Revenger cards actually do a lot of decent superior calling out of your deck when you're right on top of them, which is still pretty nice, you know? And you have Tartu, especially. They have Dark Bless, you have Mana, you have all those cards, which is really good. Maka, old Maka. Ugh. I don't know. I don't think you do. I think you want to try play lean as possible, because you're going to be using the G guard, this one, your Deep Griever, to send back all your Revenger grade 1s back to your deck. Yeah, exactly. I don't think you need it. You have Tartu, you have other Revenger targets already. Decklist for all through our next Tuesday. Thank you, Echo. Yes, that's good then to know. Hey, Ral, how you doing? How you doing? But outside of this, I do think that this is probably the best value, because it doesn't really matter what's part of the main deck list anymore, as long as you could try get your hands on some of the namely staple Revenger cards. If they even add 1 to 2 copies of any of the cards that I mentioned already in the main deck, I think this is still probably good bang for your buck, because a lot of the other cards you'll probably be able to pick off of old legacy players or people who used to play the game a while back, and they'll be like, hey, I still have some of the stuff. And you also have the selection sets that have some of the Revenger stuff in them, so you can still get the reversed Revenger stuff, and you can still play with some of the V cards in there. The only thing that might be a bit of a sour point for you is the Revenger critical triggers. This one, the V version of it, Grim Revenger. This probably might be only the sore point for you to pick up, because this is presumably pretty difficult to come by, because there's only been like 2 printings of it so far. So you might have to end up running the older Revenger triggers to compensate. So I do like this overall. So I would rate this to be the best out of them, then Musketeer, and then Jewel Knight out of all of them. You don't even run them? I still think you do, though. You want to have a higher saturation. Even current premium lists, I think, still run at least 2 or 3 copies of them. Let's take a look at them. Let's look at Vanguard Paradox. For any of the Raging Form lists, I still think they run at least 3. I would think so. Yeah, they still run 4. They still run them. You think Salome can be very scary? But the thing is, maybe that might be the case for me. But the issue that I have with Salome is that you have to see her as quickly as you possibly can. And if you end up seeing your V Ashley first, you possibly might have to ride that first, which makes it very awkward to get any more force markers. Because I think you'll need to get Salome. Well, we'll discuss it after this video. So this is the long and skinny of it. Very good quality. Yes, very good. Pick up this one. This is actually a very good one. Out of all of them so far, this is probably one of the best out of all of them for the premium collection. If you like edgy sword boys, this is your ticket to one-stop shop for all you need for this. This is good value overall. I'm not even saying this as a corporate shill. I'm saying this as a person who, like, if I were to pick up Shadow stuff and I want to get back into premium again, if I wanted to pick up a deck set and I'd say, hey, I want to play something cool and with swords and knights and stuff, and I had to choose between Jewel Knights and Shadows. I'm more of a Shadow player myself still, even though I do love Jewel Knights too. In terms of value, Shadows has always been a high investment sort of clan. Buy it. This is a must buy. I feel at least a 7 out of 10 for me in terms of value overall. Value 7 to 8 out of 10 for sure.